Well, we rely on them to keep us safe, teach our kids, even save our lives. Essential workers are just that, essential. But many can't afford to live in the communities that need them. And now a new scheme is helping frontline workers buy their dream homes.
Starting her career in the country, Sophie Lyon knows all about the pain of a long commute after night shift as a frontline nurse.
I was commuting an hour after and before each shift, and it was just so dangerous, the amount of times that I microslept at the wheel or was exhausted and tired.
When the 34-year-old moved to Sydney to become an intensive care specialist, her biggest challenge was no longer her commute, but the cost of city living.
So I didn't move to Sydney on a Sydney wage. So for me, I was on the same wage, but my cost of living went up. And that's the same for nearly every public worker throughout New South Wales and Australia.
So her single wage made buying her first home impossible.
Realistically, it was going to be a large struggle, and I was like, surely there's some type of schemes that would be beneficial more than what I could already access as a first home buyer.
Hope Housing has created an innovative investment solution out of one
The
of
Sydney
Australia's
nurse
best
stumbled
long-term
across
assets.
Hope Housing, an organisation giving back to essential workers by doubling their borrowing power in order to secure a home close to where they work. Sophie admits at first she thought the housing scheme was too good to be true.
Like, I was like, okay, what's the catch here? Like, I was combing through all of the terms and conditions, both for investors and buyers. I wanted to see both sides of the story.
There are 400,000 essential workers in New South Wales alone.
100,000 of those are either travelling an hour to work or they're in really inadequate, cramped rental accommodation. We'd like to help all those people.
We researched models both here and overseas.
Hope Housing CEO Tim Buskins.
Reimagining how Australians buy homes.
I'm a father of three, and I didn't want my boys' only avenue into home ownership to be a career in investment banking, lawyers, that sort of white-collar workforce. If they aspire to become essential workers, this great Australian dream should still be within their reach.
The housing scheme works through a shared equity partnership. Hope Housing, a not-for-profit organisation, targets sophisticated investors.
We're mobilising the wealth in Australia. We're actively engaging with high net worth individuals, self-managed super funds, and providing them an opportunity to access the great returns of the property market, while at the same time solving for the housing crisis.
So how does the scheme work? You need a minimum deposit of 2.5%. Your first stop will be the police bank to see if you qualify as an essential worker. Once approved, you can start to search for the home you need close to where you work. Hope Housing will assess the property and can agree to fund up to 50% of the price. Once it's secured, the essential worker is formally the owner of the home. Their name is on the title, so you can sell whenever you like. Any profits made from the sale will be split based on the proportions you both invested at the start.
The day after I got my letter that they agreed that this was a sound financial decision and investment for them, later that night I had a house and it was just a whirlwind. It was amazing.
Sold and sold. Congratulations.
Investors paid their portion of the property price, but all upfront costs, including stamp duty, as well as ongoing rates and maintenance, are the homeowner's responsibility. Sophie hopes to one day own her unit outright.
Over time, I can actually buy them back personally and not necessarily I can sell it to myself. I don't have to sell it to the open market.
I think it's a great initiative on both an investor side and a consumer side.
Finance expert Effie Zahos.
It's not available for everyone yet, but I think it's a great blueprint moving forward. You absolutely have to do your research. You have to read the terms and conditions, as boring as they sound. I mean, that's going to really uncover if you are eligible for this.
It's about all of us in Australia, particularly those wealth pools, to come together, access the residential market, deliver a great return and solve the housing crisis at the same time.
How great is that? And Hope Housing plans to help essential workers right across this country soon.